Hi. Well, it's another beautiful day, though it's cold and cloudy. Today I want to talk about models. No, not females dressed scantily or toy planes. The models that we make inside of our heads. You see, sometimes when we want things to be a certain way, we make a model of it. You've heard about this in the weather or in sports. And we do it inside our heads all the time. And it's a way of making what is what I want. And it's one of the ways that human suffering can begin. Now, these models can include all sorts of things. For instance, Donald Trump. His model was that he won the presidency, even though he didn't. And his model was so tightly ingrained that he just couldn't let go of it. And there's other people out there that have models, and I'm sure you've noticed them. And their opinion of things is also ingrained, and they won't change their mind. And that's where, some human suffering comes in, because if your model doesn't match reality, then you're going to have problems. So, these models that are in our head are basically a way of trying to escape from what is. For instance, you buy a new car, you want it to be a certain way, and you drive it for a while, and then all of a sudden there's a squeak. And it doesn't fit the model in your head, so you get upset, you get angry, okay? And you're no longer in the moment. You're, beginning to have some suffering, okay? And sometimes that suffering can spread to other people, and there's lots of other ways that models can affect us, adversely. Let's say you're a doctor and you have the model that you don't lose patients, and then you have a patient die, and you feel bad, you start to lose it, and you begin to have human suffering, and you affect those around you as well. I mean, everybody in your household is going to feel that, and they're going to be affected by it. Once you start suffering, that suffering spreads. It doesn't just stay with you, okay? Now, how do we get rid of these models? Well, you got to let them go, just like everything else. And the best way to let them go is to accept what is. And I know that might be hard to do, I mean, I've seen so many people just go down, the tube because the world didn't match what their model was. And it's really a shame. And what I want to try and do is help you guys to escape this model of the world that you have, okay? And everybody has models, okay? Now you probably think, well, I don't have a model, but in fact you do, okay? Because you want the world to be a certain way, You want it to be good, right? You want people to start behaving in a way that's, nice, right? Only they don't. And so you start suffering. So, understand that modeling the world, is setting up a bubble in your head of the way you want the world to be. You know? I mean, the world is a terrible place. It's also a wonderful place. And if you live inside one of these bubbles, then you're going to suffer. That's just the way it is. Everybody has these model bubbles in their head, and there's really nothing you can do except to begin to accept what is. Okay? And often, once you have accepted what is, these bubbles come creeping back up. Okay? These models just come creeping back up. And it could be, oh, my coffee's not hot enough, or oh, something else isn't right. Okay? And when something's not right, that means you had a model of the way it's supposed to be inside your head. Okay? You go to a grocery store or whatever, they don't have your favorite food or whatever. Okay? And so your model gets, burst because they don't have what you want. And that's the problem you have to deal with. And the best way to deal with it is to accept what is. Okay? Not everything in this world was meant to be perfect for you. Okay? I mean, it would be lovely if it was, wouldn't it? But it's not. Okay? There's global warming, floods, fires, people losing their houses from hurricanes. Okay? And they're really suffering because of a model in their head. Okay? I saw a newscast about some lady whose house got sucked into the ocean, and she was crying and saying, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of my life. Well, if you weren't so attached to that house, maybe you'd be okay. And the model of that house being there is causing you suffering. And so we have to let these models go. We have to recognize when we're behaving in a way that means we have a model in our head. Now, how do we do this? Well, by simply realizing that things aren't what you want. When you realize that something is not what you want, that means there's a model going on in your head. Okay? And so, accept what is. It's not that hard. Okay? The world is the way it is. That's the way it is. Okay? And when you hang on to these models in your heads, okay, then you're trying to make the world other than it is, and it's not going to be good. I mean, I love the world, and I love all the people in the world, but sometimes the people in the world are not nice. Okay, and we have to deal with that as it is in the moment. If you want to live in the moment, which obviously everyone should, because that's all we have, there's no future, there's no past, none of that stuff exists. The only thing that exists is now, this moment. And if you're not living in this moment, then you're not living. Okay? If you're stuck inside a model, then you're basically not living at all. Because the only way you can live is in this moment. And I know that's a hard thing to say or to hear, but that's the way it is. Okay? Well, I guess that's all I have to say, except recognize who you are and have a great life. Bye.